Joined by Stephen Longo, a local attorney. You've been watching this for the duration of the trial, and one thing we didn't touch on at the top was Dan May saying that in order to make this conviction stick, he had to make a deal with the devil. Speaking of Crystal Kenny, the plea deal she cut to provide the evidence they needed to send this guy to prison for the rest of his life. He said it was one of the toughest decisions and is one of the most difficult decisions a DA has to make. Do you concur, and how critical a decision was that? Because he got a lot of flack, as did his team, for making that deal.
Absolutely concur, and it has to be an incredibly tough decision. This is a person who, if other evidence was available, would be convicted along with Frazee as being part and implicated in this murder. But as I think we see from the result and how the evidence played out, it was absolutely the right call.
Yeah, even the Barrett family disagreed with cutting that deal, and of course she pled to a felony, a tampering with evidence charge. She'll be sentenced at a later date. Sam and Elizabeth spoke briefly about it. The timeline of getting to trial and a conviction, remarkable given the notoriety of this case.
Lightning fast, what we'd call a rocket docket. And I think that's in part based on our Colorado courts are much more progressive in moving cases quickly to trial, both civilly and criminally, than other places in the nation. But I also think it factors into how we had one central star witness in Crystal Kenny and how important she was, and not just establishing the who, what, and where of how this happened, but also gave the prosecution and the investigators, the DA's office, all the other tools they needed to get the other circumstantial evidence. And when you have the majority of your evidence in your case surrounded by one witness, I think it enables you to move faster. Yeah,
one of the keys that the defense made in their case was the only reason she cut a deal was because, or excuse me, she only provided this information to prosecutors after she cut the deal, in the defense speaking to that circumstantial evidence. But boy, all the resources that came together to tie this all together obviously convinced this jury that it was much more than just circumstance. It pointed right to Patrick Frazee, and she nailed his coffin by providing that information.
Absolutely. Again, without her testimony, you don't know how this happened, where it happened, or really what happened. And she was able to establish that, and then again allow the investigators and the forensic team to get all the other pieces of evidence needed to make sure that even though this case was circumstantial, that when you take all those pieces of the puzzle and put them together, you can clearly see the picture of what happened.
Stephen Longo, thanks for joining us. And I should say that Crystal Kenny will have that sentence review in December, and then we will learn if she can get a maximum of up to 3 years in prison on that plea deal, or as little as no prison time. So that's a key moving forward. Again, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
All right.